Good morning. Thank you for inviting us to speak with you today. Our topic is the paradox of servant leadership at Vectorcom Technologies. Can a, can a company really break free from a cycle of aggressive growth where meaning reform and falling back into old habits? We are presenting this for the Vectorcom employee union, so we are focused on what this means for the people who work there. Before we dive in, one framing note. Everything we are about to walk through, we have looked at through the lens of what it actually means for the people doing the work at VictorCom, not just what it means for shareholders or the board. One recurring contradiction in this story is the gap between the leadership style adopted by leaders and the actual operating schedule of the organizations around them. Every time Victor comes swings from the extreme to the others, the that gap is what's really driving it driving it, and it's where we are land by the end. Here's how we are walk you through the case first. The rise and fall of Victor come under Marcos reign. Then the servant leadership reset under Elizabeth Jason and its hidden costs after that, why cultural change meets resistance, and which leadership style really fits a fast-moving industry. Then a harder question, can ethical leadership survey market pressure? And finally, our idea for breaking this cycle. Let's start where Vector Com's story really begins.
Let's start with Victor Command's background. Under its old CEO Marcus Rion, Victor Command became one of the biggest company in telecom. The company grew very fast and achieved growth success. But behind this success was a deeply unhealthy culture, a clothing to shine. Company culture is built on deep and often unspoken beliefs, and Victor Command's these beliefs reward aggression over people. Result and performance was always more important than employees. Growth always comes first, no matter the cost. Long working hours and very little sleep become normal. A boys' club culture also pushed many employments to the slide. Most people were afraid to speak up because they did not want to lose their jobs or opportunity. Everything looked success from the outside, but many problem were hiding inside the company. Finally, one whistleblower decided to spoken out. The whistleblower exposed corruption and stormed company funds and the higher levels. The impact was immediately Marcus Rion and two board members resigned and most of the top in leadership team and also the company. The rebuild the company requisition shareholders bought a new CEO, Isabella's Jason. She was know the ethical and the people for the leadership cell. The holder she can rebuild trust and creative a healthy workplace. But this was not an easy job. Isabella didn't just need to lead the company, she need to help a broken culture and change to way people work together. So let's look at the approach choose and why it become more a complexity than people expect. Let's move on to the next part.
Elizabeth didn't just need to lead the company, she also need to fix a broken culture. So she chose servants leadership Greenleaf believe that a good leader should support employees and help them grow, not simply give orders. Elizabeth introduced open feedback meeting, flexible working hours, more career support, and work to remove the old culture of fear. This occasion matches peer idea of servants leadership, listening, caring, and helping grow. This change improve the workplace, but they also create a new change in a fast-moving industry. Caring for employees and making quick decisions are not always easy to balance. The first problem was slower decision making. Listening to everyone is important, but it also takes more time. When Dylan Tong and Eisenhart explained that this can be a problem in fast industries. The second problem was the employees felt safer, but there was less urgency to develop new ideas. The third problem was that the company became too careful to avoid conflict. It also avoided risk. So many bold projects were delayed. As a result, Victorcom lost market share while competitors move faster. Employee morale also become lower. Workers could share their concerns, but problems like heavy workload and the safety issue were often solved very slowly. So servant leadership fixed many older problems, but it also creates new ones. This is why Victor can still face resistance to change. Let's move next part.
So the fix created new problems, and naturally Victor.com resisted dealing with them. A researcher named Cotter tells us that a company's culture can act like an immune system. When change arrives without real support behind it, or without everyone truly feeling the need for it, the old habits fight back. And Victor.com, a group of employees who had done well under the old system, stayed loyal to the leaders who'd been pushed out. Some staff who missed a faster, more decisive style pushed back against the new, more open way of doing things, and underneath it all, the leadership style changed, but the company systems, how people were paid, promoted, and managed did not. This structural lag is a core source of employee resistance to cultural transformation. Cotter and Schleissner call this a mismatch between strategy and structure. This raises a bigger question. Is there one right way to lead? A Cyril from Hersey and Blanchard says no. The best leadership style depends on the speed and the stakes of the situation you are in. Under Marcos Rayard, the common style gave fast, clear decisions and strong short-term results, but it came with a toxic culture and burnout that couldn't last. Under Elizabeth Jason, the servant style built high trust and a more ethical culture, but decisions slowed down and the company lost some of its edge. So maybe the answer isn't picking one style over the other. The real opportunity is a mixed model, one that keeps the care of people, but brings back speed for the moments that really need it. Neither extremely protects Victor.com's people on its own, and that raises a harder ethical question. Let's move the next part.
Neither extremes protects Victor.com's people on its own, And that raises a harder question. Can ethical leadership actually last? Serially, Freeman tells us that a leader's real job is to balance the need of several different groups, not just shareholders. At Vector.com, that means balancing shareholders who want growth, employees who want fair workloads and safety, customers who want good service, the vendor community who care about the company's name. The tension is this: good intentions alone are not enough. Without ways to measure and check progress, well-meaning leadership can quietly fall apart. A researcher named Gosher cautioned that when management thinking accountability as someone else's job, that assumes protection, self-fulfilling good intentions alone don't build the structure needed to hold anyone to their promises. Which brings us to a hard question. Is Victor.com doomed to repeat its own history? There are already whispers of a plan to remove Elizabeth, Jason, and bring back a leader more like Michael's Reynolds that suggests the company might be stuck in a loop, not moving forward. We can describe this loop in 4 stages. First, aggressive growth leading to scandal and collapse, leading to the move from goals too far, leading to the company losing momentum, with people missing the old days, and then the loop can start all over again. 2 structures, Cameron and Quinn, described this as an unresolved clash between a caring people first culture and a results-driven, competitive So it is very common moved to repeat this. We don't think so. Here's how the loop can actually be broken. Next part.
We don't think Vector.com is doomed to repeat this loop. Here are 4 ways to break it. First, a mixed leadership model. Keep the people-first culture of servant leadership, but add clear, fast rules for urgent designs. Researchers Shaw and Edison Hart call these urgent, simple rules, a way to move quickly without losing trust. Second, structural safeguards for ethics. Build accountability systems that don't depend on one leader's personality, so good values survive even after the leader moves on. Third, redefine urgency. Speed should come from clear thinking and giving people authority to act, not from fear or overwork. Fourth, ongoing cultural checks. Regularly measure engagement and design speed together, so drift in either direction get caught early. Tools like the one built by Leiden and colleagues can help measure this in practice. For a union, checks on workload and design speed, not just a leader's goodwill, are what actually proact people once their leader eventually moves on. To bring it together, 5 threads point to one gap. Servant leadership fakes the fear, but slow designs, reforming resistance, because systems never change with the leadership style. Command and servant styles each solve half the problem. Speed or trust, rarely both. I think leadership stays fragile without accountability that outlasts one leader. And without real safeguard, the loop of growth, scandal, and relapse repeats. The common threads every problem trace back to the same gap. Vector.com asks its leadership style to do a job only strong structure can do. Breaking this loop means pairing with execution and good intentions with real accountability. Our analysis draws on 5 leadership and cultural theories listed on this slide. Okay, thank you for listening.